Hello, my name is Bianca from the Ukrainian Actors and Actresses fandom. Today at the Magic Behind Ukrainian Actors, I don't have an actress here, I have a showrunner. The first showrunner in this format. Welcome, Anastasia Filonenko.
Hey, thank you so much. It's
Hi.
so nice to finally meet you in person, Bianca. You did such a great, impressive amount of job structurizing everything that we do. It's impressive.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you because we are in contact since a while, but always only over DM. But you guys are busy bees. To explain, she's not just a showrunner, she's working for AMO Pictures. And as you know, AMO Pictures is the biggest production company in Ukraine, as far as I know. And yeah, she maybe can introduce herself, who she is, and what she's actually doing before I say something wrong.
Sure,
Go for it.
I'm the showrunner at AMO Pictures. I'm supervising a project creatively, both for clients and for our own production. At AMO, I did some projects for Drama Box, for Good Short, for My Drama, creating something. I cannot say you right now what it you will see it next, but for AMO. For example, the last project that was on air, it was No Escape from Mafia
So
King's Race, the one that's one of my the most favorite projects ever. Soon, the new release will be on 20th. Also on Drama Box, the Fire King is my Shadow Daddy. It will be the next project that we and my team we did together. I did plenty of stuff with Amo.
you guys are bringing one show after another, and it's so amazing to see, and we love it. We love it for real. And I have one question. It's regarding your job description. You are a showrunner, and I hear it first that some people didn't said I have a showrunner in this project. If I talk to the directors, they said we have a creative director. Is the position the same, or are there differences?
It's a bit different position. I act as both showrunner and creative producer. We call it like this, but those are the differences. Let's call it like that. If we have the script written by ourselves, or if we have the script came from the partner. If we work on the
Okay.
story from the whole idea, then we write the script, we produce, and that's show running. If we have the script from the client and we work with the script and produce it, that's creative producer. It's like the small differences. The meaning in general is the same, but it's more like the scope of work has to be done to produce the content. That's the whole difference between those.
If I see if there are credits in a vertical on the end and they say there's a creative director, I know it's actually a project which is coming from your partners. And if you are working as a showrunner, it's a storyline which is coming from AMO Pictures. Did I understood it correct?
Technically, yes, but again, sometimes it can be just mismatched. It's if the titles are written correctly, then it must be yes. But again, sometimes people showrunners can be the creative producers. Creative producers can be showrunners. It's a bit
Yeah.
complicated. It's better to double ask, double check to make sure precisely. But like, in general, yes, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that it will be 100% guaranteed like this.
I will annoy you from now on always again and ask what's going on. Now, if I see the credits, because I love if there are credits, but I already told a few months ago to Anton Skripets and Anatoly Didinsky that you guys have to be more careful with the credits, because sometimes you writing at first the first name, then the last name, and in the next line you writing first the last name and then the first name. It's confusing. And people who don't know about Ukrainian names, they wouldn't recognize it. But if there are people like me who recognize what could be a first name and what could be a last name, it's always like, hey, give me the database. I will write it down correctly. This is what I figured out. But I think it's definitely needed to get credits. And not just the actors, the whole crew.
The production themselves are creating those pages. For example, like if it was project for Drama Box, that means that their crew is doing those titles. If it was for other companies, also they are doing this. And that's where you can find those like names. But again, this crew list and cast list, unfortunately, they don't work for performance. That's why there is no such strict rules, I suppose. It's not like crucial for you to. So people are making them. Again, like if you just notice something that is wrong, and I can tell, for example, that, oh, here's some mistake, and people will fix it, but we do not have the unit that is responsible for this.
Give the work to me, I will do it for you guys.
No, again, you
No,
have to sit and you have to gather all this information. With everything is happening around, sometimes you just don't have time. If you choose what to do, you always prioritize the most crucial piece of work that has to be done. And
yeah.
sometimes it's just the last thing on the shelf that is waiting for you to do. Yes, it's important to do. We keep this in mind, but sometimes literally you don't have time and resources to do this.
I know, and I just saw it recently. A project was Pierre Longer and Katerina Belinska. How fast it's got released after they finished shooting, and they shot until Christmas. And immediately on begin of this year, they brought out this movie, so there wasn't even 2 weeks in between. That's crazy.
Yes.
I can understand that sometimes this can happen, and I mean nobody is perfect, but it's just because of my profession, which I usually have. I used to work in different assistant jobs, like assistant to the CEO, project assistants. I see something like that.
I
It's
totally
not
get
a
it.
big
And
problem. I just recognize it.
I can imagine
Yeah.
how frustrating it is for
Today
you
is
to
really
see such
real.
things like name and first name and last name, how they're mixed, like if you want to organize stuff. So, but yeah,
I read you used to work for Pocket FM, right?
yes, yes.
What is the huge difference between shooting verticals and shooting those? I guess it's just a few episodes on Pocket FM which are shot, because it's actually an audiobook platform, right?
Yes, the biggest difference is that all these vertical apps there about this vertical series that are fully complete product they are selling and promoting. And at Pocket FM, it was everything about the audio novels. You're listening, you're not watching the story. And the biggest difference was that we are shooting the beginning of those stories, not the whole like plot, not the whole everything, just the beginning, to make people download the app and listen to the continuation of the story. And the biggest difference between just typical verticals and this, like at first, that we don't have any endings. We are finishing on some like cliffhanger. And the second one is that the amount of voiceovers, the amount of like describing what's happening. Literally, we had the action is happening and the voiceover retells what's happening. But why? It's just to make this easier to transit from the video to audio narration. But that's, I think, the only difference in producing those ads for Facebook in these approaches. But in production side, everything is the same. Writing the script, searching the cast, locking actor, locking location, shooting, editing, everything is the same. It's just about how we approach the story.
Because I've seen a few of these Pocket FM shows, and I always wanted to see. I wanted to see, not hear. I wanted to see
Yeah.
the full story because I was always looking on the begin. I didn't knew on the begin it's an audiobook platform, so I always were looking, where can I find it? Where can I find it? And then I didn't. It's always hard, but it's the
Yes,
same
yes,
way
I do.
as most of. It's kind of how everyone in this community got captivated to verticals. They seen some ads on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and we always tried to refuse watching them. But on some point we couldn't, because then we watched one episode and we wanted to know how it's going on. So we had to go on watching, and we got hooked. It's
Yes,
with
yes.
most of our.
I understand because like the last project that I did for Pocket, it was with Vanessa von Schwarz. I hope I pronounced her surname correctly. She's amazing, and we
Yeah,
did this project. Also, it was Jordan Frank. I think his surname
John
is.
Frank.
Yes, it was
Yeah,
amazing.
I know John Frank.
Yes, and people were asking literally, Vanessa, I saw she was like reposting this stuff that when will be the ending? Where can we find the whole story? Like, we are pissed off that we cannot find how it ended with all of you. Do you know the ending? And Vanessa was replying, no, I don't know, because that's the audiobook with more than 1,000 apps in the episodes in the app. You have to listen to find out what's happened next. But it was so interesting how this audience, that vertical's audience, were targeted, and they were treating this content as typical vertical, asking her questions, and like that was funny. It's just for me, it was so nice to observe it.
And Vanessa is doing a lot of verticals recently, and she is not that long time, but she's in a relationship with Casey Asser, who
Yeah.
is a vertical actor as well. He have over 55 leading roles, and it's great to see what they are doing. But it's always hard if you. It's the same. There are way too many vertical apps, way too many. And I'm happy so far that Ukrainian verticals are not on so many vertical apps or not official on vertical apps. There are some other apps who have these shows too, but you guys didn't sold it there. But if I think about it, we have over 100 or 200 vertical apps, and it seems like every single show which is coming out, it's on a new app. And now just remember, we always have to pay for subscription because you can't watch it for free. The first episodes, yes, but on the end, you have always to pay, and it's pretty hard. I hope, even if I wish you a lot of success, that you get seen on many apps. I actually wish you don't have so many apps because I want to keep track, and it's not possible if there are tons of apps.
But that's the period of how it was called the gold rush in these verticals in the US. That's why those are popping out literally one after another. But again, that's very like everyone wants to
Yeah,
gain some
everyone.
profit, of course. And the second why I like it
Yeah,
personally, because every app is they are trying to differ from each other and different approaches, different
yeah.
stories, different some requirements. It's not boring from the side that's like yes, the story can be universal sometimes and all this stuff, but something always differs. It's not boring to work with. Here, for example, some different approach in editing. Here is the different approach how we treat characters. Here is the different approach how we treat visuals. For now, it's very interesting to work with. It's not just this, how to say, we are doing all the same stories one after another. That's why it's also interesting. I understand your pain and struggle as a customer, but from production side, for now it's interesting.
Definitely. The most problem I think is everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon to get money out of it. And I must say, not every app have different types of verticals, because we leave the Ukrainian verticals out of it for a second. But most verticals from all over the world, they repeating themselves all the time. They have always knockoffs. You've seen the storyline already 5 times, just with a different cast, and the storyline was just a little bit, but you have even the same lines. And for viewers like me who are for a while now in this vertical space, it's getting boring for us, and we see that after 1 or 2 episodes that we already know the storyline, and then we turn it off. And that's why I like mostly the Ukrainian verticals because they are unique. My drama just started now to do knockoffs, which I don't like. But for example, we had it with A Laugh Too Risky to Resist with Bogdan Ruban and Lee Berlinska. And then we had from another production company a vertical. It's called After All That Hurt. It was with, I can't pronounce his name, Hihori Baklanov and Laurie Winkle. It's
Yes,
exact the same story, only that he have a different job position and she too. But it's totally the same. And I know many fans turned off this show, even if the work of the crew and the actors is amazing. But they turned it off because they always seen the original actors like Bogdan and Lee. So they didn't want to see it. And that's always happening with those knockoffs. It's the same with Sold to the Possessive Mafia Boss with Artem Plonder and Sasha Anika. We had the lesbian version with Lee Berlinska and Katerina Belinska. And my drama released shortly after that a third version of it. It's called Her Heart Held Hostage, and it's an American version with American actresses. It's a lesbian one too. And it's not necessary. Even if the first show, they have good sellings with it. But don't do that. The audience don't want to see something like that. You stay unique. And I know in Ukraine you have amazing script writers. And I recently talked to a scriptwriter of three Ukrainian verticals. She is from Mexico, Jamila Baena. And I always wished that Holy Water and my drama stay unique and be different to all the other apps because knockoffs are not good.
I don't want to, speak in behalf of the vertical apps because that's not correctly. I can only reply you from my own perspective as a TV producer because like previously I was working for I think 10 years or more than 10 years in Ukrainian TV. And I was working in performance marketing on the dating app. My target was to promote those ads on the Facebook, on like other platforms as well, but mostly Facebook. I was the person that was working with the content from the perspective. My target was to, I don't know, make people install this app, make people do some purchases, for example, how you approach this creative asset to make it working, make it performing. I can tell you from this perspective that as long as people are watching, and these people are watching is very simple to count. Again, it's performance marketing. If people install the app after this ad, after this story or not, if they watch this story or not. And if the story, even if you reshoot it and it's working and it's bringing you the new audience, for example, the old audience may not watch it, but it will bring the new people to the app. They will buy new subscription again because you already have one and they don't have one. As long as this will work, as this works, they will do this. And the reshoots knocks off of this story. That means that previous story was successful. And again, all those vertical apps, those are IT companies. They are not media productions. They are not, again, classical TV. Those are data-driven platforms that are based on the data if people watch those stories or not. And if they watch, they want to, to do this progress one more time. They want to gain this performance one more time. And that's why sometimes those stories are repeating themselves, but because they were successful and they want to do this success once more. Yes, as soon as audience stops watching this, they are stopped shooting this. But if you see the new version of the story, that means that previous was so good enough that it has to be done one more time. That's how we do with the creative marketing, in the performance marketing. If this asset was working, I want to make some iterations to gain the most possible effect, to gain the most possible profit from this ad. If it's working, I will reuse it. If it's not working, I will not reuse it. Again, let's not forget that those vertical apps are IT companies and they work and operate in this world with those rules.
I see I can totally understand this, but I see it's in a difficult way because people watching mostly those verticals, not because of the title of a vertical, because the titles are mostly horrible, but they see their favorite actors. They click in, and I'm not sure how the views are get collected in the aesthetics. If you just clicking by watching the first episode, or do you have to watch the full vertical? And even if you see ads on Facebook, Instagram, and co, I guess these are counting as views as well. So people click in there, see their favorite actors, and then maybe after a few minutes, even if they see the favorite actors, they turn it off because they don't want to see the storyline again. And that's a problem. And it still count like the people are interested. It's the same with the pilot projects on my drama. Pilot projects are necessary to see if a new genre will work out. That's totally fine. But the problem in this case is people sometimes don't have a subscription. They're buying coins and they see there is coming a new show out of the length maybe of 70 episodes. So they spend all the money, and after 12 episodes, they figure out, hey, the new storyline is cut off here. And then they show a totally old vertical, which we all know. And if you have to buy subscription or coins on each app where you see shows, it's sometimes not necessary to spend so much money at once. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
mean, everything in life is expensive. So if you can save some money, then declare it at least, hey, this is a pilot project. So the people know what's going on. Because I get a lot of messages, especially if they released a pilot project. Where's the rest? Where can I watch it? I said, they didn't shoot it yet. If you want to see it, send a my drama on Instagram a DM and
Mhm.
tell them about it. As more people want to see more, they decide to shoot the full vertical. And that's totally fine, but don't put another vertical which has nothing to do with the first storyline in it. It's confusing. But even if it sounds so that I'm talking bad about my drama, I adore my drama for real. I just talk
Yeah.
without any filter and say if I don't like something, because I don't like to sugarcoat everything. So if there's something what I don't like, I say that. And I hope that they won't do more of that, because I know you guys are incredible with new storylines. And for me as a viewer, it's always great to see, because yes, those stories are all fiction and you don't develop the wheel new, but the way how you tell the story, how you shoot the story, it's totally different. And sometimes you even feel like it could be something realistic. It's not this overacting. I don't know if you watched American Verticals, for
Of
example,
course.
or Australian. They overacting sometimes in it. All the banquet scenes, all the violence and harassments and so on. And I'm so thankful that in Ukraine you don't have something like that. Yes, you can't leave the violence out of it. I always say if you have a mafia movie, just imagine the mafia boss. It's not cruel. He's not cruel. He's just sending out some flowers. It's not working. If it's necessary for the storyline, violence is necessary, but don't overdo it because it's too triggering. And that's what I really like about Ukrainian verticals. But in your case, you are not just working in Ukraine on projects, you are working in UK and in America. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. Both locations.
How this happened that you got sent over there? I know because I talked to Tyler Crosby once, and he told me the whole crew is Ukrainian. And how come that you got sent over there to work there on the projects? Because of your English skills, and it's not the main reason, but because you speak fluently English, and not everyone is doing it.
Yes, that may be
Is
one
that
of the
correct?
reasons, but I think more because of the expertise, because I've worked previously there, again with Pocket, and like how we met with Tyler, we were doing the project together for Pocket FM. I know how the industry works there. I know people from there. I was previously there. It will be logical to make this like again, it's easier to onboard the team that is working here when you can communicate, when you can meet, when you can explain stuff. But like the time difference is like the big part. The difference in the some laws, rules, some unwritten rules, for example, it's just how the things operate in LA, for example. Like to make these transitions smoother because it was one of the first projects I suppose there like they did previously projects with us, but to make this as smooth and like as good as possible, I went there just to make sure, again, just sometimes being on set and seeing stuff and discussing in real time, it can give you much more gain than monthly discussion of how things work in theory. We've
Yeah.
spent all these shooting days and nights and everything together when I was explaining things, how they work, how it has to be done. We were discussing stuff, creating stuff together. That's very important. And now this crew is working and they know things, and so like they are our independent, very valuable crew there. And it was important for the, how to say, proper and good and quality onboarding, not in the theory, not on
Yeah.
words, but in reality when we work together. Because here sometimes I can also go on set for some, I don't know, complicated scenes, for some specific stuff to do when it's needed. I can go here, and as well I went there. But I love to be at home.
No, it's amazing that you can work internationally, and to bring the knowledge which you guys have to America. We will see if more people start shooting verticals like you guys do.
Yes,
There
that's
are really
interesting.
talented people.
When I was in the LA the last time, I was meeting with some different people from different apps. I will not call names, and they were again like they were referring to My Drama, for example. Again, that's a very unique app and very unique stories. And they were literally asking or sometimes complimenting those stories, like how they are done, how they are not hours, let's call it like this. And it was very interesting for them. They were telling me that we are watching those shows, we are analyzing them, we are trying to understand why and how they work. And that was this moment when I had this feeling that yes, our Ukrainian content is really unique, not from our, because for us, of course, we
Definitely.
have the unique projects, of course, we have this amazing content. But when you hear this on another continent, on another part of the world, from people who are like competitors in this field, when they are praising, again, those are our Ukrainian partners, My Drama, and they are praising those stories, those story twists, those actors, those like how we do things. That was really amazing to hear. Again, from we just met. I was how to say, I was nobody for them just to compliment me because they want to do something. It was just the conversation, how you do business, how we do business, and it was so nice to hear.
Definitely. And last year, we had a few events like the Short Film Festival in LA or the Verticon, which was the first convention where vertical actors could meet the fans. And they had the Vertical Hollywood Awards. And at the Short Film Festival, my drama became or won the favorite app of the year or best app of the year. We had Braceface Betty, who became audience favorite, and the Age Gap for best drama. And at the Vertical Hollywood Awards, The Shy Beauty and the Billionaire Beast became the best foreign vertical. By the way,
Mhm.
this one was my first Ukrainian vertical which I ever seen. And my drama won at the short film festival, not just for the Ukrainian verticals, they won also for American verticals. But this shows what Ukrainian teams can do, what influence the Ukrainians have. And it's amazing to see. And I saw also there been some other awards where drama shorts and my drama precipitated and they won something. It's great to see.
Yes, yes, that's really nice.
I could just recommend the short film festival will happening this year again, and they you can always submit a movie from AMO Pictures. Maybe if the fans are voting for it, you can win again. Maybe you give this information to the responsibles at AMO that they can submit it. Last year, Drama Shorts and My Drama submitted shows. Maybe you guys doing with your own projects as well. You
Maybe
would deserve it.
I will tell. Thank you for this information.
I can give you later on the link to the site, and it's actually pretty good because we made a lot of advertisement last year, so everyone could vote every day for. I guess last year it was like you could vote for as many shows you wanted to. And so I always made advertisement for the Ukrainian verticals. Now, and you see, I heard that many crew members from Ukraine have experience from normal TV shows and cinema movies, so from horizontals. So they bring all their experience into this vertical space too. And Anton Skripets told me it doesn't matter if the budget is low, you always make it look cinematic. And that's what I like.
We are trying to pick the best suitable option for the each project. Every person who works with us is very high professional, like either DOP or some stylist or some PD, or we are cherishing every person who works with us, and we put the best suitable option depends on the, for example, genre or some specific of the production, or even sometimes preferences, because when people who are, I don't know, someone loves true crime, true crime is not so suitable for the verticals, but and this person, if the person loves this genre and knows those rules not just from the searching and preparing to shoot the story, but from deep interest, it's always better to attach this person to the project when they know what to do in those requirements and in those resources, how it can be done the most efficient way. We are trying, that's, I think, the difference between us and some other abroad vertical those production companies, that we are not just shooting pages, we are not just producing the script from the, we have to do this, we have to shoot those pages, shoot those lines, do this stuff. We are treating those projects as each unique piece of some, like, I'm not sure that it can be called like art because it's a bit more like, but unique, some cinematic piece, let's call it like this. Yes, vertical. Yes, those rules. Of course, you have to work in this vertical genre. But everything, we are trying to find some layers, find some meanings, find some unique stuff that can emphasize this story, that can work better for this. Like how it was done with this Mafia, with all this like things that we wanted to create something new. For example, usually in verticals Mafia, that's white t-shirt, black leather jacket, and like this guy who is going and doing some stuff. We wanted to try this time the authentic Italian vibe. The Mafia, they came from Italy and all this stuff that family related. We were trying to put this vibe in this show, and it worked amazingly, and it's so beautiful. It's so like when you see Artem Plonder in this suit going with Tanya Zlova, and she's in this beautiful dress because again he has style, he has this fashionable understanding, because again, have you seen Italians? They are so fashionable. We were trying to add something unique. Instead of just picking some wardrobe choices, we created the story with them. And that's how we work with every production thing that can happen here. What's the purpose? What can we do to make it better? But not to lose, it's very important not to lose this vertical needs. And that's what helps us to create what we create.
And it's actually always great to see how you work on that and to don't let it look like everything else. That's actually great. Is there a genre which you prefer to shoot or to watch?
I want to shoot something new. I would call it like this. For example, like how I told about this Mafia. If it's Mafia, what can I do interesting here? If it's new genre, for example, how it was with fairies, I want to do them. If it's about romance, what can be new to this? I don't have favorite genre. I can work with everything, I suppose. It's just that I'm trying to find something unique in every script I work with. I'm finding what I love in this story, and that's what I cherish in this story. Either it's a new genre, either it's like new actors that can be brought here, or it will be the new style or the new directing approach. But that's the issue. If I don't feel something that I can, I don't know, pick my eye. I don't know how to translate this more correctly, but I have to find something in this story for me to scary to love to do. Why am I doing this project? Not just to make this project. I want to have some purpose in delivering this project.
Do you have anything to say beside the director? How does the story have to be shot?
Yes, of course. That's like we are cooperating on it. For example, what's the main character movements here? Not physical, but like storytelling wise. What is this story about? What's the core? For example, again, the detective story, for example. I haven't done it yet, but it can be done as a detective when the first target is to find out who is the killer, who is like all the stuff. Or it can be done again as a romance story, and detective it's just some second or third layer. And that's the mechanic to make people being together. In this changing of the POV, of the, I don't know, focus. So what has to be in the focus, what's not, what's important here, what's not, how some scenes have to be done, about what. That's what we discuss, and we cooperate and co-create together. Literally, I can like find
That
and see some references. For example, when we were doing the last project for Good Short with the Nazar Graber and Katerina Haidai, we found the reference in Euphoria, for example, some scenes. We were trying to do those, not just like some stylish, modern Gen Z outfits. Again, and we were co-creating this with the director. It's not like it appeared just pop in our minds. We are so genius. No. So we were discussing. I was telling some my preferences. He was telling his, and we created this treatment that later transited to production, and now you can see it like on screen. That's the whole our process, how we cooperate together with the director. But on set, the director, of course, doing all the stuff and all together, but the pre-production process is really loaded with this creative work together.
that's amazing. And I must admit, this was the first vertical where we seen Katarina Haidai the first time, and she did a good job. She really did a
Yes.
good job for the first time, and even a leading role. She shot another vertical, but it's not released yet. But she did really good, and I liked her in it. And it's I don't know how far up front do you get the script to plan all these projects? 2 weeks,
Uh,
3 weeks? How much upfront do you have time to
Mostly,
organize everything?
I think mostly 1 month. It can be more if it's like
Oh,
some
good.
complicated stuff to do, but usually it's 1 month.
Because I think you always have to find locations where to shoot and so on. This takes time.
Yes,
So
yes.
you are not shooting in a studio. You're shooting in buildings and locations in real life. They have to be sometimes we see always the same locations in a few different of verticals, but it's totally fine. But you can't do it just in 1 or 2 weeks. You need to find all these locations. How is it actually since you guys in Ukraine have a curfew? It's from midnight to 5 a.m., is it correct?
Yes, yes, it's
You
complicated.
can't really do overnight shootings, or if you do overnight shootings, you have to stay in the location where you are shooting, right?
Yes, yes, we had a few night shooting. That means that, for example, we have to find the proper location that so we can go outside of the building, but it will be still count as a private property, all this stuff. Because yes, and if we have to finish our shooting day, it's like if the curfew starts at midnight, it doesn't mean that we just stop filming at midnight, because that means that the like equipment has to be packed, it has to be transferred back to the equipment point, it has to be given back as a process, and then people have to go home. That means that at least 2 hours before, and 2 hours it's too risky, better 3 hours, we have to stop everything. It's very complicated. I will not say anything otherwise because it's not easy, but we managed this again, as you can see. We managed to
Yeah.
work with curfew. We managed to work with the shootings and explosions, because when we were shooting our Mafia project, our the whole crew was under the attack, because like it was in the how to say, in the same district as we were shooting. The Russian rockets were firing us, and we had to stop our shooting and go in the basement. And a few hours we spent there, but we managed later to do everything properly. And you cannot even notice as something was wrong. That's the thing that I appreciate, I think, the most about our crew and our people, that they are working again, that are not how to say, working their hours to get their payment. We create the product together, and we understand that if something happened, we work together to fight the consequences. Again, so this happened. Yes, we, I don't know, lost some time because we spent this time in the basement instead of shooting. What can we do to make it happen still in this situation? And those moments, those are, I think I will remember them till the end of my, I hope, long life. That I will be an old lady remembering my working days and thinking about that moment and how we managed to go through this. Can you imagine what we will create when
Yeah.
we win this war and everything is stopped and we can do everything as we did previously? I want to see this moment.
Believe me, there are a lot of people who would love to see that the war finally ends. I wish I could help you somehow else, but it's incredible to see how you guys make the best out of it, even if it's dangerous. And to the audience, you hear how they shoot verticals all around the world and the pace they have. They have the same pace in Ukraine, but still sometimes they have to stop shooting because there are attacks again and they have to get safe. It's a huge difference to the rest of the world, and I really, really hope that the war will end soon. Finally, it's
Yes.
enough. Definitely, and I think it's to see how hard working you guys are. You live this job. You don't love, not just love this job, you live this job, and you can see it in verticals. You see if someone do it just for the money, and you see if someone really do it because they like it to do it. And that's always amazing to see. But the no, let me think about, was it the first one or no, the last vertical of last year. Last year there been 100 no on end of December 2025 we had 100 verticals including the pilot projects made in Ukraine, and the last one was No Escape from the Mafia King's Embrace with
Mhm.
Tetiana and Artem. And
Yes.
there was a little new star in this vertical. Your daughter had a role in it.
Yes.
Sophia, Sophia
Sophia,
is her
yes.
name, right?
Yeah.
She was a flower girl. How come that she got this role?
Corruption and nepotism. No, like when we were
No.
discussing this project, and again, when we were doing how to make this, as I told previously, this Italian family vibe, what can make it different. So the director's approach, Alexei Daruga is the director of this show, was like to show kids on the wedding. Again, because Mafia, when you live this life, like that's why we had not just wedding shop in classical understanding, but this like somehow crafty shop, because like Mafia has their own like doctor. They have their own, I don't know, like policeman. They have their own tailor. They have their own like dentist, like all this
Yeah,
stuff. And that's the whole world, is like they have the whole version of their own society. And when we were doing this wedding, we want to have, instead of just, this old guests, like, I mean, typical adult people, we wanted to show some kids there. That's why there was a small boy coming to this gun and like playing with it, and like when men just, hey, go play somewhere else, like. And that's why we had Sophia, I mean, we had this flower girl to make this like petals, because we wanted to show that this is, like, how to say, this is a lifestyle, this is the whole world. I mean, so that's not just some random
yeah.
meeting, it's
You
the
know,
whole universe. So that's how this role appeared, and I put
Yeah, Mafia is
Sophia.
family. Mafia is family.
Yes, and that's why we wanted
So,
to emphasize this family things with kids. And that's interesting, like again, how this small minor changes helps to improve the story and to create with this one small gesture, with this one small frame, to create the whole new meaning of what's happening around.
yeah. And how did Sophia like that?
Oh, she liked it so much. And I was surprised how hardworking she was because she was waiting for her to be called on set. She was sitting nearby in case I will be wanted. Because I told her, like, go have a rest, I don't know, drink some tea, like all the, what if I will be needed in the frame and I will not be there? So I have to be here and wait. And everything she did, it was from the first take. What also I was surprised. I was thinking, why don't you listen to me like that at home? And some random people are telling you do this, and you're doing this from the first attempt.
That's
But when I'm
normal.
telling you something at home, you're just ignoring me.
Hey, that's normal that kids always listening to everyone else but the parents.
Yeah.
It's normal. No. So you open the box of Pandora, so now she wants to do it more often?
Yes, told me that she wants to do this one once more, but I told her that it's actually a hard working like thing. And if you want to do this, like at least
Yeah.
again, you have to speak English because if you want, it wasn't proper acting. You did like one stuff. If you want to perform, that means that you have to learn lines, that you have to know, like I've tried to explain to her what is it. It's not as funny and easy as like she perceived. But it was very interesting for her.
How old is she?
She's 5 years old.
Oh God. But
Yeah.
hey, now it's amazing to see. And after we talked to each other and you sent me upfront some BTS pictures and said, hey, my daughter is acting, I immediately added her to my fandom. But what I always do is we have a few child actresses in the fandom, but I'm not just adding them. I always talk to the management first, or mostly the management are the parents. So I ask you first if it's okay for you, because we have to secure we have to secure the privacy of these children. So thank you for letting us to add her to our fandom, even if it's just one small role. But hey, she deserve it.
Thank you
No,
so much for
it's great to
including
see,
her.
and I always see if AMO Pictures shows something. You are a very or you are a company who believes very much in family values. And I like that. On some days you had all your kids to the office, and that's amazing to see how you all stick up together if something is needed. I like that a lot. But anyway, I want to say something because I recently, we are talking here right now for the Magic Behind Ukrainian Actors, where I'm talking to actors and creatives out of the Ukrainian vertical space, and also creatives and actors from all over the world who have something to do with Ukraine. But I just went online with a new format on YouTube. It's called Vertical Voices, where I start to talk to the audience because I want to hear the background stories, how they got into the vertical space, what part in the vertical space do they have? Are they just not just, but are they the viewers of the shows? Do they have maybe a fan page of a particular actor or actress, or are they review pages, for example? And I want to know how they find Ukrainian verticals. And do they like them, or is something what they don't like? So I want all to hear all those background stories. But that's not all. I am starting to talk to actors and creatives out of the vertical space from around the world and want to know. Sure, we're talking about their career as well, but I want to know if they ever heard about Ukrainian verticals and if they even watched some of them and what they think about it, and if they maybe thought about to maybe go to Ukraine to shoot their project, or for example, for AMO Pictures, shoot a project in UK, USA, Canada, or Australia. So if they are interested, the only thing what I can do is I will collect all the information of these mostly actors and can forward it to AMO Pictures. What you guys are doing on the end, it's up to you, but I try to connect you. Because since I'm not just watching Ukrainian verticals, I'm watching verticals from all over the world. I'm more into to that. And if we can connect some people and you get maybe good actors or actresses, that would be awesome.
Of course, thank you so much. Share
So,
everything you can with us.
yeah, I will forward this. The interviews with the actors are not published yet because I started to recording in these formats, and I will collect some and then I will publish them after another. But I definitely will forward it because I talked to a few people who said, "Hey, I would love to work for them because what they are doing is amazing." You said earlier you shot a vertical for Armo in UK and in the USA. Do you have the same time to prepare everything for these verticals, even if it's in a different country, or do you have more time
Oh,
since
it
you have to
depends.
travel there?
It depends. Usually, again, it was just once that I was traveling there, and it has so many factors that influences the timelines that I cannot just, tell you like one unique explanation about how we can't. Sometimes it can be faster, sometimes it can be longer, like because like as more variables you have in the production, the more unexpected outcomes it can be. So each project is
Yeah.
unique and each timeline is unique.
That's it's actually should be normal this way. But what do you think about that? More and more countries in Europe start shooting verticals. We have Lithuania, we have Turkey, we have UK. In Italy, they started shooting verticals, and I guess in France, they started shooting verticals too, but not in English, I guess. And even here in Germany, they had the first casting call, but I can tell you already as an audience, they won't have success because they don't want actors. They want influencers with a special amount of followers, and it's gonna be in German and hiring influencers. Yeah, this can be successful. I mean, they don't know what to do and always have the bad taste of a reality show. And me personally, I don't like reality shows at all because it's so unnecessary. So yeah, actually, if I watch something like that, I'm sitting in front of the TV and I'm ashamed. Even if I don't have anything to do with it, but I'm ashamed of people like that. And if they want to do something this in Europe, they should do it definitely in English language to get more audience. And but what do you think about that more and more countries in Europe start shooting?
That's logical. I mean, again, if you have this economics, I don't know how it's translated, like the more people want it, the more companies are appearing to like make their wish come true. So gold rush in verticals, people want to produce and to earn their money from this gold rush. And it's great when people are, I mean, it's good that companies can do something. They can test it. They can create some new stuff. Again, there are so many platforms right now that the work is for everyone. It's not like there is only one app that is doing one show per year and everyone is struggling and trying to do something. Like many platforms, many projects, many companies that are appearing, and it must be interesting. Again, maybe Italy will create something unique and that everyone in the world will use, or Germany will create something in verticals, some new approach, and people will also use this approach in other like each time when something is created from new approach from the scratch, because like if it's like they are just appearing and trying to do something, maybe they have some fresh ideas, and it will impact
Yeah.
with the good this in these verticals. So it must be interesting what will be, as for me it's more interesting what will be in 5 years. It's not that they are appearing right now and everything. So for me it's interesting who will stay,
Yeah.
which project will be at that time they will be profitable, and which app will stay in the market. So like this. But I'm glad that people they have a possibility to work, to do something they like, and to earn money from it. Why not?
Yeah, and I mean, in Europe, we have great landscapes in each country, so it's something new what you don't see, didn't seen yet in the vertical space, mostly. And let's say this way, for example, in UK, they're starting their own app as well now for the UK market. And here in Germany, we have three actors, which I know so far from who are Germans but had roles in verticals all over the world. It's sure we had just recently Hans Gobik. He been in Ukraine and shot his first vertical. We had Mark Shatner. Mark
Hmm.
Shatner was now in Love in Oblivion, but he also shot before that three American verticals a while ago. And we have Fabian Arnold. He lives in LA and he shot a lot of verticals already. And the funny thing is, he lives not far away, or no, let's say it this way, his family don't live far away from me. So a few weeks ago, I was happy to meet him. So he wrote a book and he signed it to me.
Oh, that's so
Sometimes the world is small and there are some good actors. And so there are a lot of talents here in Europe. And it's always great to see new talents on screen. And I like it a lot that you have invited a few actors from abroad. And I mean, there's one actor who fell in love with Ukraine. It's Robert Scott Holmes. I guess he lives now in Kiev.
Yes, yes.
That's how you guys amazed him, even if his first project wasn't with AMO, it was with Artform Production. But he immediately made the plan. He's moving there. Most of the actors who've been in Kiev to shoot there with you guys, they all said they would love to go back. They liked it a lot, and I can understand them. If I could, I would come there immediately.
We really appreciate their love and support. And again, it takes something inside for you to come in the country that is currently in the war. And it's amazing that like they are coming here, they work with us, and they see everything like firsthand, and that they want to come back and work with us once more. We really appreciate it.
That's really great, and everyone was speaking in only good words, and I can understand them. Like I said, if I would have the opportunity, I said it in an interview with Bogdan Basenko, which I had a few weeks ago, and I said it's not just that I fell in love with Ukrainian verticals. I fell in love with the country, even if I didn't been there yet. But if what I see online, the pictures, the movies, or the videos of Ukraine, how beautiful this country is. But most of all, I fell in love with you Ukrainians because you have a spirit on you. You are so full of life. You are hardworking. So it's so amazing to see. And if I would have the opportunity, would get a job over there, I would move. I would come there, even if there's a war.
Yeah. I hope
I
that you
would
will
do
visit
that
us.
immediately. But anyway, do you have anything to say to the audience?
I think yes. I wasn't preparing my speech for this moment, but I want to thank you, everyone, for your support, for your views, for your feedback, was also very important for us. It's very, every time I see some review, every time I see some comment, I always appreciate that you spend some time not only to watch, but also to think about this project, to analyze it, and to write, prepare, make some video about this, because that shows that what we do is it's not just for some, like we film this, we put in this on the app and people are watching. We feel that it resonates deep inside people. And that's very important, for example, for me as a for creative person, to see that people feel those projects. People not just watch, they like feel something from them. And I hope that those stories will inspire some people, that will show some people maybe sometimes how you like people shouldn't treat you, especially considering the story twist in verticals, that don't think that abuse is okay in your life, you have to escape as soon as possible, like all this stuff. But I really appreciate that you spent time and like reflecting, rethinking about some like things that we do, and we feel your support, we feel your warm thoughts, warm words, and it's really important for us, especially in like in this war.
I can understand you there that those reviews and those comments which you receive, it shows you that you don't just do it for yourself, you do it for the others. And it's you can't compare it, but it's the same like with my fandom. If I don't see any reactions, get no feedback, etc., it always feels like, hey, I'm doing it only for myself, but it's not like that. If you always have feedback, it doesn't matter if it's, or yeah, we prefer positive feedback, but if there's something what you didn't like for about vertical, for example, you can say that too, but be kind. And because constructive critic is okay, but we don't have to sugarcoat everything. But mostly we don't have to do that because the work what you are doing is amazing. And like I said, give the apps feedbacks, give AMO Pictures the feedback. They need it for real. And only if they know if you guys liked their shows or not, then they can go on and doing the right thing.
The data speaks itself.
Yeah, and then the feedback is so important. And Anastasia, I have to thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you have anything, you always can reach out.
Yeah, thank you so much,
And
Bianca, for your time
yeah,
and for your support.
you are welcome. You are more than welcome. Please tell everyone I said hi because you are sitting in the AMO Pictures office.
Yes, of course.
Stay safe. And I hope will get the electricity back and the heaters so you don't have to freeze because it's pretty cold over there.
Yes, and that's literally dream wish right now. The most important. Yeah, thank you so much.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Have a nice day.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.
Thanks.